Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking on one of the most awesome games I have played in years. The anticipation surrounding this game was huge and in my opinion it delivers on all the hype that surrounded it. In today's video we are going to be obtaining the Platinum Trophy for the one and only Hogwarts Legacy. Our wizarding journey starts by getting an offer letter from Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Of course we accept. And then we spend around 20 minutes making our character look like Weird Al Yankovic. After deciding against that particular look for our character, we embark on a rollercoaster journey through Gringotts Bank. Visually this was awesome. After finally arriving at Hogwarts, it was time to choose our house. It doesn't matter too much as you need to finish the game with all 4 houses, but more on this later. Up next it was time for our first class, which is Defense Against the Dark Arts. You just need to duel Sebastian and defeat him to finish the class. Super simple, very straightforward. Side note: Sebastian is very important if you wish to learn dark spells, but these aren't tied to trophies in any way. Continuing on with the main story, you will reach a map chamber. This is something you're going to be visiting a fair bit as you actually need to do this 4 times with each house. As I was Gryffindor, this earned me the trophy, Gryffindor in the Graveyard. As you'll see later in this video, the trophies for spending talent points are a little buggy. These took a few minutes to pop for each of them tied to trophies, but they did eventually, and that's all that matters. This trophy, a talent for spending, was for spending 5 talent points. There are 40 of them available in the game. Continuing, the main storyline will eventually unlock you the broomstick. This makes travel so much easier and much more enjoyable. There are 13 broomsticks to collect for 100%. Up next was the That's a Keeper trophy. You earn this for meeting Charles Rookwood in the map chamber. He's a part of a series of trials you need to complete to advance the story. There are 4 trials in total, and one of them you will see later was my favorite part of the entire game. Absolutely incredible. Time to show you the buggiest moment of my entire playthrough. My character froze, I couldn't move, and then the entire world fell apart. Amazingly you could fly and even fast travel out, so I wasn't stuck too long. This was the only glitch I had in 52 hours played. I'll take that any day. After this amusement was over, I came across some butterflies. At the time I didn't know these were also a collectible, as they revealed collection chests, which are required for 100%. This trophy is called Follow the Butterflies. After gaining access to the Room of Requirement, I used to loom to upgrade some gear for the Loom for Improvement trophy. Pretty simple, just upgrade your gear 1 time and this trophy is yours. There is also one more trophy tied to upgrades, but we will get to that later. Up next was the 100-hit combo trophy called Raising Expectations. You need to hit enemies 100 times without getting hit or them interrupting the streak in any way. I used the Inferius for this. You can easily dodge and block them, and you can't kill them unless they are on fire. Very straightforward. You can also use the battle arenas for the 100-hit combos. Whatever works best for you. Sticking with the Inferius, as they were going to help me obtain my next trophy called Root of the Problem. For this one we need to defeat 10 enemies using the mandrake plants. You can grow these quite easily in a medium potting table or buy them from vendors if you have enough gold. I recommend growing them as this counts towards another trophy later on. I started to advance Natty's questline and was rewarded with another means of transport, which I have to say is probably my favorite way of getting around the map. It's not as fast as the broomstick, but it's much cooler. There are 3 side questlines tied to trophies, 1 for Natty, 1 for Poppy and 1 for Sebastian. Poppy actually has a few trophies tied to her questline, and that is what is coming up next. Around halfway point you will be tasked with helping a dragon. No, you can't fly a dragon, but that would have been amazing. Completing this part of her quest will earn you the trophy Defender of Dragons. All 3 side questlines aren't missable, but you should start them as soon as they become available. This game has many challenges for you to complete in order to reach 100%. For the challenge accepted trophy you just need to complete any of the challenges. For example, in this clip I defeated all of the dark mongrels I needed to, and that was enough to earn the trophy. There are different challenges for defeating dark wizards, spiders, etc. Continuing exploring the vast open world, I was also working on defeating 50 enemies using Petrificus Totalis. Simply put, sneak into the enemy camps using the Disillusionment Charm and sneak up behind people to use the spell. Do this 50 times and the trophy is yours. With that in the bag, I returned to the Room of Requirement where the last potion I needed to brew was ready to be collected. This game has 8 potions for you to brew. You will need to obtain the recipes from the vendor in Hogsmeade to get all of them. The last one I needed to brew was the Wiggenweld potion, the quickest and easiest of 8 to brew. This is why I left this one until last. Learning the last of the spells was next. The dark spells do not count towards this trophy. None of the standard spells are missable, they are all tied to main story missions so they cannot be missed. Learning the final spell will earn you the trophy the Spell Master. As mentioned, the dark spells are all missable. I recommend not missing these as they are very useful. After learning how to unlock level 3 doors, I wanted to explore Hogwarts Castle some more. This took me to the highest point of the castle, which is the headmaster's office. Accessing this room will give you the A Room with a View trophy. There is also a key to pick up on the desk, make sure you pick it up for later. As I mentioned earlier, my favorite moments of the entire game was one of the trials. As you can see on screen, the art style of this story mission was very different. I really enjoy this mission. Absolutely brilliant. I would love the option to turn on this art style in the options menu. Some of the other side quests would have looked great with this art style. Straight after this mission you return to the map chamber and report back your findings. This will earn you the trophy A Hallowed Hero for wielding a Deathly Hallow. As you continue exploring and advancing the story, you will unlock a part of the map which wasn't accessible from the start, and there is a huge amount to explore and discover. You need to go through a mine to reach the Poidzia coast. Doing so gives you the trophy Coasting Along. Now that I had access to this part of the map, it was time to go and unlock all the remaining Floo flames. Hogwarts Legacy has over 83 Floo flame locations around the world which act as fast travel points. Unlocking all of them will earn you the Floo Around the World trophy.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented Floo powder.
Continuing on with the main story, the final trial is for San Bakar. This is the final trial. At this point of the game you are nearing end game and the story is nearly complete. Reaching his memory point will unlock you the trophy, the One Who Mastered Memories. At this point I'd just like to say, if you are enjoying this video, please leave a like, it helps me out a ton. Do please consider subscribing. Moving on to the next trophy, I won't show this one in this video as I don't want to spoil anything, but to earn it you must subdue the Lord of the Shore. This is basically a boss fight. Finishing this mission will earn you the trophy Grappling with a Grap Horn. All that is left now is to finish the main story mission and defeat the final boss. If you're unfamiliar with the main boss, he's called Ranrock. He's the leader of the goblins and has been searching for sources of ancient magic. This fight honestly confused me until I figured out what to do. He was quite straightforward to defeat. Finishing this earns you the gold trophy, the Hero of Hogwarts. The final story mission is called the House Cup. This is actually missable. All you need to do is to finish the field guide to 100%. But before I did that, I started some of the simpler trophies. Like this one, all I had to do was to grow all 8 plants and that's it. Finishing this gives you putting down roots. Straight after this, in the very same room, I used the loom to upgrade a piece of gear 3 times for the 3rd times a charm trophy. This does involve catching beasts and taking care of them to get the items you need to upgrade your gear. In the Room of Requirement you are given vivariums to house and look after your beasts. To breed them you need to buy the breeding pen from Hogsmeade. Then you need to catch a male and female of all 10 beasts to breed them. Each beast takes 30 minutes to breed. Finishing all of this will give you the Nature of the Beast trophy. While cleaning up I noticed a trophy called Finishing Touches. I didn't know this was in the game, I simply missed it while looking at the trophy list. For this you need to use ancient magic on every enemy in the game. I was stuck on 99% for the longest time. In the end I finally found the one I was missing and it was a spider. There are roughly 69 enemies in the game but foes don't count towards this trophy. Coming up next was the funniest trophy I have ever done. I found this hilarious. For this you need to tip over 10 cows. You can do this by using Flipendo. Finishing this gives you spilled milk. I'm still laughing watching this back. How often do you get to flip cows in games? I just found this very funny. I wish there was more trophies like this in the game. A little into the main story you meet Gladwin Moon, the Hogwarts caretaker. He will task you with finding demiguise statues. There are 30 of these hidden all over the world. Finding all 30 earns you the trophy Demiguise Dread. Finding a certain number of these for Mr. Moon unlocks you Alohomora. There is 3 levels to this for level 1, 2 and 3 doors. Doing this early on will make exploring much quicker and easier, so it's best to get it out the way.
As competitive as I am.
Up next I went off and did the time trials for racing your broomstick. You just need to beat Imelda Reyes time on all 3 courses to achieve this. Having a level 3 broom will help massively, so make sure you do the side missions first for Alfie in Hogsmeade. These trials aren't too tough, but the upgraded broom really helps. Continuing on with Poppy's questline gives you another trophy for discovering all of the dungeons. Poppy has around 3 trophies tied to her questline. She has the longest questline in the game. Discovering this dungeon will earn you the Intrepid Explorer trophy, and you're now nearing the end of her story missions. I was getting a little bored of Poppy and her questline, so I went off and finished Sebastian's instead. I really just wanted to learn all the dark spells. You need to make sure you pick the right options when speaking to Sebastian and his friend Ominous. They will teach you all 3 dark spells, which are super powerful. Finishing his questline gives you a Sallowgrave trophy. Now that his story was over and I had all 3 dark spells, which was going to help massively for some of the harder fights coming, I carried on completing as many side quests as I could find. There are 57 side quests in the game, but while I was doing this, a mission for Natty became available and I still needed to finish Natty's questline. I think Natty is my favorite NPC in the game. I would love to see more of her story in a DLC. Finishing this earns you the Amazing Gazelle. Remember Poppy from earlier? Well, this was finally the end of her questline. For some reason her questline felt the longest, or maybe I didn't like it as much as the others. Finishing this questline earns you the trophy Beast Friends. Hogwarts Legacy has a crazy amount of things to collect and do. In total there are 1,258 collectibles in the game. All of these are required for 100% completion. On top of this there are 95 Merlin trials to complete, and these in my opinion are the most tedious things in the game. They are incredibly repetitive and kinda boring. Completing 95 of them will give you the trophy Merlin's Beard. At this point I only had a few collectibles and side quests left to do. One of those side quests was for Deke, where you must track down and locate a phoenix. This was a cool little side mission as it reminded me of the original movies. Completing this side mission and locating the phoenix gives you Rising from the Ashes.
Let's get you back to the room. Deke's going to be pleased.
The very last side quest was actually my least favorite of all. I had to play Summoner's Court Part 5 and beat the champion, which actually turns out to be a professor. The trick to this one was aim for his gobstones and knock them off the board. Trying to beat him any other way didn't work for me. Completing all side quests will earn you the trophy The Good Samaritan. The final thing I needed to reach 100% completion was to find the final Hogwarts secret. There are only 3 of them in the game, but I had thought I had finished them. It turns out I didn't open the final door on this puzzle, and that's all that I needed to do. Completing 100% on the field guide gives you a forte for achievement, and now you can go and complete the final story mission, the House Cup, but we will get to that in a moment. Earlier I mentioned a slight delay in getting the trophies for the talent points. Well, this trophy took over 35 minutes to unlock. It did eventually as I was exploring something else, but it did take way too long to register. The final trophy for talent points is called Savvy Spender. Hopefully you don't have any problems unlocking this one. Up next was to finish the battle arenas. There are 3 of these in the game, 1 normal and 2 dark arts battle arenas. They are fairly straightforward and kinda a breeze if you have the killing curse. Completing the battle arenas was literally the last thing I needed to do on my full playthrough, so it was a relief that I managed it without the glitches other players had experienced. Rise to the challenge in the bag, and now I could go and win the House Cup. Remember, if you haven't completed the field guide 100% you won't get this trophy. EP must finish it before entering the main hall. Winning the House Cup earns you the Seeker of Knowledge trophy. All that is left now is to do a further 3 partial playthroughs with each of the remaining houses. This was going to take around 6 hours depending on how fast you follow the story. The story for each house is also slightly different for each house. Reaching the map chamber via Azkaban was probably my favorite journey to the map chamber. I won't show you all 3 journeys as there is only slight difference, and I honestly don't want to spoil it. With the 3 playthroughs done, the Platinum trophy was mine and in the bag. This Platinum is called Trophy Triumph. And that's the entire Platinum journey in Hogwarts Legacy. I have left a few trophies out of this video simply to keep it shorter. I'll leave this to play out and show you the different common rooms of each house, as visually they are stunning. The level of detail in each of them is remarkable. The developers did an incredible job with this game. The only real issue I had with this game is that the combat is very repetitive and the 3 partial playthroughs were tedious as hell. But so far this is my favorite game of the year. I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Have a great day and take care.